Hello. This is a practice recording that I'm making for Toastmasters presentation I'll be making shortly, actually tomorrow. The purpose of the speech is to describe or provide reflections on what I've learned over the last path that I've just completing with this speech. Normally, the Toastmaster would introduce me with the following. Ed Nicholson has been a Toastmaster for many years. His first Confident Communicator Educational Award was awarded in 1997. He achieved DTM, which is the highest Toastmaster recognition, in 2011 and continues with Toastmasters to maintain his speaking and leadership skills and to help others also with that goal. He believes Toastmasters can be fun in addition to helping with personal and professional life successes. The Toastmaster would now introduce me with the title, Ed Nicholson, Presentation Mastery Reflections. Presentation Mastery Reflections, Ed Nicholson. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests. Presentation Mastery Path Reflections. In summary, I'm going to describe the path of what Toastmasters, this particular path, was all about. I'll describe some of the accomplishments that I've made in Toastmasters at this time that I've done this path. The accomplishments I've made outside of Toastmasters, as also reflect on how much I've learned and gained during this time. And the impact of being a Toastmaster. What does that mean to me? The next steps that I'm going to be doing, and the new goals I've set after that. The Communications Mastery Path. What's this all about? Is this designed to build accomplished public speaking skills? Learn how an audience responds to you, and improve connection to audience. Effective public speaking techniques will also be developed during this time. And of course, getting ready for that, you need to prepare at the speech in some way, whether it's writing a description of some sort, maybe a presentation package like I'm doing right now. And finally, actually delivering it, which could be either by internet or in person, or perhaps by recording like I'm doing right now. Now, this path was done over the time of the last 2 years, between 2020 and 2023, as indicated here. But what are the accomplishments that I've made during this time? I've made many speeches in 3 different clubs. There's the Silver and Wiser Club, where this presentation will be made tomorrow. And I've also made presentations of speeches in 2 other clubs, my home club, which is the Pembroke Area Toastmasters Club, as well as a sister club in our area, which is called the Renfrew Toastmaster Club. The latter 2 clubs, we often join meetings in order to get enough people to hold a useful meeting. I've also made some speeches in the past, somewhat similar to this one, promoting Toastmasters. And I've published them on my YouTube channel, as well as my Facebook account, whenever possible, to try and expand what Toastmaster means for all of us, and hopefully catch the interest of other people who could benefit from Toastmasters. And of course, we need new members all the time to replace members who have decided to move on to something else, or perhaps achieved all the accomplishments that they need. So what do we get here? Better understanding and development of my communication style. Yes, definitely that I got that. Along the line, I've also helped other people as an official role of mentor. Learned how to make speeches that are very persuasive, and how to deal with a hostile audience. Believe it or not, we actually have some challenges all described very well and authorized, where the audience will act hostile, so that I can practice dealing with audiences that are a little bit different in terms of intent of what my speech is all about. Actually, in reality, I did have an occasion where I was proposing something in a different club outside of Toastmasters, and some of them were somewhat hostile to the idea of what I was presenting. So it was good practice in Toastmasters to do what I later ended up doing in real outside of Toastmasters life. And of course, along the line, this path, I learned a better understanding and a development of my leadership style. Now, the accomplishments outside of Toastmasters, I promoted, initiated, and often led TV eccentrics exercise classes at the seniors club that I'm involved with. Now, we had for many years an actual instructor in eccentrics, which is a very nice exercise class for seniors. At our seniors club, unfortunately, this lady had to move away, so we needed something else. I proposed to our board this alternative using TV for this, and I was able to set it up. And with the help of some assistants, a small committee, we were able to run that on 4 days a week. Even if I can't make it, somebody else, I have others trained in my committee to set up the TV and basically lead the class. I've also been involved in proposing, making presentations again to the board about upgrades to the computers in the seniors club. I've done that and succeeded and finished that task. And of course, at this current rate time, I am leading a committee to purchase and install an events outboard electronic bulletin board for seniors club. The idea here is that this board will show day-to-day changes that are happening in the club, and it'll be open not only for people who come by the club itself for other club activities, but they'll also for people who walk or drive by the front of the building, they'll see what we're doing. The idea is to try and recover some of the memories we lost over the COVID years. We haven't quite returned. Actually, we've got a long way to recover the membership we lost during the COVID years. Now, reflect on the learned and gained lessons that I had. Now, what happened over this path is built on top of the 10 years of Toastmasters experience that I've had developed up to the beginning of that. So my experience would be somewhat different in this path than a person starting out Toastmaster with no previous experience. Now, along the way, I practiced public speaking and leadership, very helpful in Toastmasters for when you need it outside of Toastmasters. I met many new people who become friends and maintained many old friends by staying in contact through Toastmasters. And along the way, I gained knowledge, expertise, and confidence with the many people I met at both Toastmasters and my seniors club. Now, the impact of being a Toastmaster. Now, this, going back many years before this path, of course, it enabled me to go from shy to confident. That's a huge difference in my life. It affected me a lot in many ways, especially when I was working. It gave me a lot of confidence in public speaking and leadership, something you really need if you're going to get on with a full life. I've made many friends and social contacts through Toastmasters and the other volunteer organizations I've been involved with. Personally, I also enjoy helping others. And I've also, during the brief times I've been away from Toastmasters, I've noticed that my confidence was fading without the continued practice that I enjoyed at Toastmasters. Now, the next steps. I'm going to finish the current paths that I'm in at this time and start new ones as DTMs. I currently already have one DTM, but I've got many paths in the pathways, which is part of the new Toastmaster approach, completed. Each one of every two is what you need for a new DTM. Well, I've got quite a few paths completed, so I could have several DTMs, except that they also add more than just the paths to do this. For example, you have to save clubs or start new clubs. I'm kind of negative about new clubs, especially in my area, because any new club would take members away from the existing clubs, which would be a severe problem because the current clubs are already marginal on the number of members they've got. In fact, if they don't get more members, they will cease to be. Now, saving clubs is one of the main things I would need to get another DTM. And another one is speechcrafts. A possible speechcraft, again, I'm trying to get it through my seniors club to, if it can make it an activity that the seniors thinks is good for their members, in addition to, of course, Toastmasters in general, they could be willing to provide the hall and a lot of the resources free for me to set up these speechcrafts. So it would be a lot easier for me to set it up. And perhaps I'll be able to get a lot more people that could really benefit from Toastmasters to come to these speechcrafts and get a feel for what it's like to be a Toastmaster in a speechcraft without them feeling like they're making a commitment in any way. So that speechcraft is something which I'm looking forward to setting up soon. Now, my home club membership building is a big problem coming up. That I'll have to be working on. And leadership speeches outside of Toastmasters. Now, new Toastmaster goals for myself: to rebuild my home club and guest clubs I'm involved with. They're all suffering at this time. More public speaking and leadership opportunities in and outside of Toastmasters. Mentor perspective, new and existing members. That's what I really have to concentrate on. And to finish pass and start new pass. Next DTM, next big interest, I don't know. We'll find out. Conclusion: Toastmasters has been very helpful in my life. Presentation Mastery path added to my public speaking and leadership skills. I've enjoyed helping others in and outside of Toastmasters, and I look forward to more adventures in and outside of Toastmasters. Madam Toastmaster.